were recording over there, and now we're recording here.
All right.
You're listening to a Young AG Instrument.
All right, well, welcome back, guys. We're here to talk to you about Dynasty leagues and give you a little background, a little bit of strategy, help you get in tune and shape, ready to attack that Dynasty league.
I feel like I should be the hype man again. Should I do it? All right.
I mean,
Can you be hype?
Yeah, dude. We're
I haven't seen you at more than like a 5 on the
more than a 5.
energy
You throw a
meter there, buddy.
Totino's over here. You'll
Energy.
see me prop up pretty quick.
So Dynasty leagues, for those of you guys who don't know, maybe you've heard about it, maybe you're trying to get into one, somebody's trying to get you in one. Listen, it's complicated.
It's worth it.
It is worth it. You know, it's like chess to checkers. So,
That's
you know,
good comparison.
if you want to get into something, just know that it's a little bit more work if you want to be competitive. But the difference with this is you're not picking new players every year. What you're doing, especially when you start up, which Mark's going to touch on in a second, after you have your team put in, you're going to have contracts on your players, whatever the particular rules for your leagues are, and there'll be terms for you to have players for a certain amount of time. Those contracts will run out, very similar to the NFL. And year to year, you'll have some changeover, but you'll be having these guys long-term for the most part.
Yeah.
I'll let Mark talk about a startup and how that works.
Yeah. So I mean,
Well, can I say real quick too?
You can.
I would encourage you guys to try Dynasty. If I were to compare them, you got a redraft league, which is no offense, but it's the easiest and the most basic. You're not doing a lot of long-range thinking, but I would say get off the mom's teat and get to some solid food, which is Dynasty.
Yeah.
And try it.
absolutely. It's
Challenge
like,
yourself.
It's like being down in the. It's like being in the minors, and you get that call to come up, and they're like, "Hey, man, we need you to pitch." And then you come up, and you're like, "Oh, now I got a taste of this, man.
Taste
I
of
want
big leagues.
to. I want to stay in the big leagues."
The big leagues, yeah.
So like we said, there's a couple different types of dynasty, right? So you have the long-standing ones where you're usually, you're taking over a team, you're managing the contracts, you're usually trying to shed a bunch of shit that the last guy left you with.
Yeah, there's a reason that
He's not in the
you'll be
league.
inheriting.
Yeah.
Like I inherited a team in his league, which
Yeah.
is a steaming pile of shit.
It is a steaming pile of shit. But
No running backs.
it's insane that you inherited a team that
Yeah.
you
It's
can
not-
potentially play 4 running backs. You get one.
Yeah, and
It's-
he's not
crazy.
that good, and I got to re-sign him.
It's
So,
awful.
I'm just saying.
So so those types of leagues are difficult because you're trying to shed everybody's shit and then get your own. And at that point, it's only rookie drafts, right? So you're going just the rookies, and then after that rookie drafts, you'll have your free agent draft. Versus a startup dynasty, which I highly recommend for anybody that wants to test the waters because it's so much different than your redraft leagues.
Well, and you're on even footing with
even
everybody.
terms, but even that, the dynamic of the draft order, the average draft position changes completely. In a redraft league, you're probably going Christian McCaffrey number 1. In a startup dynasty league, you're gonna think about it because you're gonna say, all right, well, Christian McCaffrey, year 5 or 6, he's already been injured. I have Jonathan Taylor sitting there, primed at the one position that this is going to be his second year. He's going to be the man. You're the
Get it out.
Is that a stroke or is that?
You put emphasis. That's the word I was looking for. I
There
was
you go.
searching. You put emphasis in different areas, and you want to build that team to sustain long term. But on the other hand, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot and not get some of the older veteran studs that are going to score, like a Julio Jones. You're not going to go for him early in a startup dynasty, but you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot and not take him, say, like round 4 or 5, because you still want to win this year because it's all about winning the money. But you definitely want to set yourself up for long-term success with young players early.
Yeah, and I think last year, many of you attacked me because I suggested on TikTok that you should trade Derrick Henry, which in a redraft league doesn't make any sense. Right. But in a dynasty league, it made tremendous sense. And so what it allowed me to do is I realized I was good. I was not going to be good enough to compete for the championship. So I traded many players on the last year of their contract in order to hoard draft picks for the future. And so that's what you get with a dynasty is you are a real GM and you are thinking not just this year, how do I stay competitive for years to come?
Yeah.
Or it could work in reverse. Phil may trade every future asset for a chance to take one run at the championship and win, a lot like Tampa Bay is doing right now. At some point, Tampa Bay is paying that piper.
Oh, yeah.
But they might get a couple championships out of it.
And if you get the couple championships, I think you take it. But
That's right.
Yeah, that's just a point of strategy. If you think your team's good enough, like we've seen somebody in the league do it last year, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't
failed.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact,
So
he lost to you.
yeah.
And I got all those picks. So, Charles, well done.
But yeah, I mean, and so like you're gonna say most drafts, at least for our leagues, and I think a majority of them, if it's not a startup and it's you're joining in a dynasty league that's already running, you're gonna have your rookie draft first, is where you have 2 to 3 rounds in most cases, and you're drafting from the pool of rookies that were just drafted in the NFL.
Or if you're in the league that I'm in with Mark, there's like 8 rounds.
Yeah. Well,
it gets deeper.
It's an IDP league too, so we're talking there's defensive players.
Yeah,
so
it's a certain kind of sickness for people that are in this league,
dude. And
For
it's a 16 team league too,
Jesus.
which is just it's insane. Like the talent gets thin,
right?
Yeah,
and then you have to
there.
you have to manage contracts.
No
and
meat on the
years.
bone.
I mean,
but normally it's 3 to 4 rounds.
Yeah, normally 3 to 4 rounds, and then you'll have we'll have our section where we have guys that are coming off their contracts. We allow in our leagues for guys to be restricted. So then you could bid on guys that are restricted, and we do an auction for ours. And then you go into your free agent. And, these are all just the formats of the draft. But, when you're approaching these, you got to figure out a strategy how you're going to build your team.
Yeah.
That encapsulates who you're drafting on the rookie, in the rookie draft, who you're attacking with restrictions, who you're letting go. And if you're trying to bid, if you're in a money league with a salary cap, when you're in your auction section of the dynasty, the free agent section, are you allocating money to just try to get the best players up front? Are you trying to get other GMs to spend their money?
That's right.
To allow you to get some value later on? There's just, it could go so many ways.
Yeah, and like a frequent strategy in all of our leagues is, if I'm in an auction, I'm probably going to throw out the receiver that I think somebody may bid on high, but I don't want.
oh, absolutely.
In order to get another team to spend their cap, so that when the guy I really want is available, I'm competing against less teams.
And it's important to keep track of everybody's money. So you know how much money Mark has and how much money Rocky has.
Mark seems like the kind of guy who hides how much money he's got.
For sure.
Yeah.
But,
Has that look.
it's good to keep your eye on it because it's definitely a strategy to try to get the money out of Mark's pocket.
It's called, it's
you
called
could also look at his
Kid
roster.
Rock, the Kid Rock strategy.
The Kid Rock strategy.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, man.
Anyways.
So I mean, I guess we're kind of talking it already, but yeah, like what are your dynasty leagues? I mean, rookie draft, I'm looking at running back. I mean, I'm looking at everything because it's all long term.
Well, and I think you have to have a specialty. So, for instance, in most of the dynasty leagues that I'm in, I follow college football pretty hard. Like, I really enjoy college football. So I'm betting that I know a running back that nobody else is going to think is good, and I can get in the rookie draft, which will allow me to not have to overspend on an auction player.
Which is a great point, too. For me, last year, that was Antonio Gibson. I did my homework. A lot of people weren't high on Gibson right off the bat. I was able to snatch him in a position where I shouldn't have been able to snatch him, and
that's what's going to happen
dividends.
this year while you go
Able
for
to ride him to a first round playoff exit.
I ain't taking Etienne. You can have him.
I don't think I'll have
So
him.
what do you think about that dynasty?
Somebody will definitely take him that just remembers the name.
Yeah. What do you think of that dynasty league that I got you in? I mean, that's like that's the
sucks.
mother
I think it's
of all.
filled with a bunch of bastards who are trying to take advantage of me.
They are definitely trying to trade rape
Yeah.
you. I'm not gonna lie.
They are.
I mean, now it's good because Rocky gets a little taste of his own medicine because that's Rocky in his league.
That's
It's
not
like-
true.
it's
I
so
am
true.
the home of the fair
It's
trade.
not.
I'm the home of the
Does
fair
that
trade.
sound like a slogan? It is, because that's what major corporations that fuck you do. They have a slogan that tells you the opposite.
Nobody has ever traded with me.
Oh, that's a lie.
And afterwards regretted it, unless they're
Blasphemy.
just extra stupid like your brother Zach.
No, so Zach wasn't. Zach wasn't
Zach was the
underhanded.
dumbest. No, there was no underhanded.
No, there was no under. I'm not saying in that case.
He's just extra dumb.
I'll give you that.
So
one.
you're getting your just desserts in this league, then, huh?
No.
Rocky.
No,
I'm
he
not
deserved it. I'm
trading.
so happy for
The
this.
league, the league is treating.
I'm
him-
not trading, and I have total faith that over maybe not this year, but I will build a good team, and I won't be raped by these guys.
Don't be raped by
These
these
guys-
guys.
He
these
raped
guys
like
are-
20 people. He's got
They did. Look at his face.
he's got 6 of the first 10 picks.
These guys are treating him like the fresh meat at the penitentiary.
Yeah.
Here comes
Yeah.
Rocky walking
They
down the
are.
hall in the cuffs, and
Rocky's
everyone's
all
got their
for it.
shivs,
Yeah, they are.
Disgusting.
banging the bars. Fresh meat.
Hey, I'll trade you my 8th pick in the 9th round for Michael Thomas. You
Yeah.
need to shed cap. All right.
The best
I love
is,
that when you need to shed cap.
Yeah, the best is when they rationalize it for you.
Yeah.
I had one the other day that guy tried to give me Mike Davis in like his 112 for my 1-4, and he's like, but they didn't draft a running back, so Mike Davis is the guy. I'm like, well then,
Why don't you
then
keep
keep
him?
him.
Yeah.
I'll take my 1-4.
Yeah.
Hey. So
Anyway.
all right. So tips. Anybody have any tips for these dynasty? Anything? This anecdotal. Something to watch out for somebody drafting their first time.
For me, it's get your target monsters because they're the guys that you can build off of. So
What's that again?
your target monsters.
Okay.
So like early on, Jonathan Taylor is going to be kind of like the new Christian McCaffrey. You're talking about a 3-down back that's he's going to get a lot of receiving targets. He's obviously going to get his carries. That's the strategy for me. I always like to go with target heavy guys.
If it's PPR, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, if it's PPR.
Well, that's
Which, I mean,
something we have to talk about too. In a dynasty, you have to know. To me, the strategy, my advice to you is know your league rules. Again, we mentioned that last week.
Yeah.
PPR, is it a full PPR? Is it a half point PPR? You got to know your rules. You got to know if you do
read 'em.
your homework.
It sucks, but read them.
Yeah, and it's about 1.5 tight end PPR too. That's the one where a guy like Kelsey.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
worth his weight in
just
gold.
know the rules, and my advice is if you don't know the rules or if you're uncomfortable, like in Mark's league, my strategy is I'm not trading because I would have been taken advantage because they were forgetting to tell me, oh wait, you automatically get this player. I thought I was getting the chance to restrict, not automatically.
Yeah,
getting.
I'm glad that you were shooting me.
Yeah.
A text to make
Just
sure
tell
that
you
you
what.
understood the rules.
And we will do an episode on trades explicitly
For sure.
too.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that wraps this up.
You guys know where to find us, right?
Well, I'll let Rocky. He's the outro guy. Sorry.
Extra.
Captain Extra.
I need to step on your toes.
You can find us anywhere on social media, TikTok, Facebook,
TikTok.
YouTube. Wow, you screwed me up there. YouTube, Instagram, the Ultimate Fantasy Locker Room. Hey, we're just like you. We like to make friends, and we like to answer questions. So throw us some questions, guys.
Peace.